Hey guys, and welcome to the Provokers podcast, where we talk about things you probably should too. Today I'm joined by...
Hey guys, I'm Ethan, otherwise known as Deluxe Gaming.
And I am your hilarious, wonderful, and handsome host, Jeebins, also known as John. How you doing today, Ethan?
Well, considering it's the same day as last episode, yeah, it's a pretty interesting day, I guess. Woke up.
So has your mood improved or gone down since we started talking in the last episode?
Well, as everyone knows by watching my videos and listening to this podcast, I obviously hate John's guts with a passion. I just can't stand being in the same area as him. So really, my mood's gone down over time. But it's one of those things that I just kind of gotta tolerate. Right. Yeah. So, you would know this if you watched any video that John's in or any of the podcast episodes, that we just outwardly hate each other. Clearly.
Right. That's fair. And, I've stayed roughly the same for my mood, because it's still hot in my house, because the AC is still broken. Somehow did not magically get fixed over the last hour.
Did you? I don't think you told them that, though. I don't think you told them about it. You told me about your AC.
No, I told you. So this is new information for them.
Yes.
But it's like the hottest week of the summer. There's a heat wave going on. And my AC broke like 2 days ago. So it's really hot.
Yeah.
But I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty hot, but that's because I'm upstairs and heat rises, of course. So there's that. But we do still have our AC. I don't have an AC in the window or anything, but we have the central AC, which doesn't bring it up to comfortable temperature for me. I'm not super comfortable right now, but it's I'm managing, And I also have my fan that I would have on right now, but it's off because otherwise you guys would just hear the constant humming of the fan. And yeah, so. But yeah, it's because again these are pre-recorded ahead of time, so this is June 20th, 22nd, 22nd, 22nd. That's the date. So it's the hottest day of the summer so far. It's 100 right where I'm at, and I'm assuming it's hotter. It's got to be hotter for John because he's a bit further south. So I'm assuming it's a bit hotter for him, unless the heat wave's just passing him. But I would assume not.
According to the weather app, it is only 93, but who even knows?
Is that the real feel or is that the actual temperature?
That's the feels like 93. It's 94.
Really? You're somehow less hot than we are over here. I mean, okay. I mean, we are near a giant body of water, so maybe that's part of it, but still.
Who knows?
I mean, you're near. Well, you're not near. I don't know where you live exactly. I just know what state you're in. But yeah. So okay, whatever. It's just hot. That's the TLDR of our conversations. It's really hot where we are.
TLDR. It's hot.
Although
it's summer.
It's hot. It's got to be hotter for John in the physical sense because his AC's broke. At least we have AC over here. So.
Yeah.
But luckily, after this episode, he can go run in a pool or. Do you guys have a pool?
No.
I mean, you can drive to one, can't you? There's got to be a public pool nearby somewhere.
Yeah, this one not too far, but I think I will instead die from heat stroke.
You'd rather die of heat stroke before going in a public pool?
Yes, public pools, they're not great.
I mean, you're right. But the best, one of the better feelings is when you get a public pool all to yourself because it's raining or something and no one wants to go. It's one of the best things.
I thought you were going to say, well, you're right, but so is dying.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been accurate as well. But yeah, so my day has really not changed because, again, it's the same day. The last one was also recorded on June 22nd because I'm going to be moving, hopefully, soon. I mean, I might be still in the process. Who knows? So.
But moving right along, do you have a headline for us today?
Well, I had the Mr. Beast one because that was pretty recent and easy to find. But the only other ones are a bunch of world events that are happening at this current moment of time, which we don't have any. We can speak on it on our own terms, but we're not going to be doing it on the podcast here, because there's really you go to any news site and it's there, so
yeah,
it doesn't really matter. So outside of that, I tried to find some different ones, but because the news is literally flooded with that kind of stuff, it's like there's not much I can find really. So yeah. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say a big old nopety nope nope to that question.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Well, what about a creative showcase? You got one of those for us?
I do have one of those. I do have a creative showcase for you today. So this one's really funny, and I love these types of videos because this is never something I would do. So I was interested to see it from a perspective of someone that is doing this thing. It's called so the channel name is Mess With Me 12, which is again kind of a strange name, but at the same time they post what's called free will videos. And what I mean by that is, for example, the one I'm watching currently is POV testing your free will. He's walking into McDonald's acting as if he works there, and everyone is just like, yeah, he must work here. He's walked in the back, and that means he's got to work here. You know, screw with the fact that he doesn't have a uniform on, probably. So yeah, he's like testing the fries. He's like going on the computer, messing with stuff on there. It's like, obviously this is not, you're not supposed to do this stuff. But it's still, like, I'm assuming he apologized for it, or what. I don't know what he does after the fact. But it's very interesting because obviously you would never do this. Like, any normal person would not do this because it's wrong and you shouldn't be going back into that kind of thing. He's also done videos where he pretends to work at Walmart, so he'll go up to a customer and randomly ask them, hey, can I help you with anything? So like that, there's no harm in that, I guess, because if, let's say they do need help, there's a video where he actually did help someone get to something. But it's just all about like testing your free will, I guess, which is really funny. So yeah, go check them out. Mess with Me 12 is their full name.
Interesting. I definitely would not have the confidence just to walk right into McDonald's and be like, I work here now.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's how people get away with it, because it's the confidence. It's like, yeah, I work here. And then they're just like, well, he's so super confident about it. He's got to work here.
Yeah, that was, my dad was telling me that he worked in a variety of construction jobs. And sometimes he would need to go get something, but he would just like go into another construction area and be like, I'm taking this. And then walk out with it. And sometimes he wouldn't get stopped. And then there was one time when someone was like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, sign that out. And then he's like, oh, okay. And he signed it out under Mickey Mouse or something like that.
That's hilarious, dude. That's great. Yeah, it's interesting to watch people do that, because obviously, like I said, you would never do that. So it's interesting to see someone do it and like the consequence of what happens.
But we could move right along into the episode today. Now, do you know of this little game called Wavelength?
Yeah, I think I don't know what I'm going to totally do with the title for this one, because I'm not just going to call it Wavelength 3, because that's a terrible name. Because we had Wavelength Remastered, because if you forgot, Wavelength, the first one, is technically speaking on the Extended Cut episode. But because not everyone watches those, obviously, technically it's the first one. But because we wanted to be like all the corporate companies out there, the corporate gaming companies, and call it Remastered, even though it's the same damn thing. So that was the joke there. And then Wavelength 2 was just Wavelength 2 because, it's technically the second one for you guys. So for this one, I'm not totally sure, but I want to do something stupid like how the Kingdom Hearts games are titled, like Wavelength 4.2 HD or something. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but like something stupid like that. So, but these guys probably know what the topic is. So yes, I have heard of Wavelength.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Wavelengths. We'll do it. It's two wave, two lengths.
No, you should stop talking before this goes anywhere.
Alright, well, do you want to remind the audience what the rules are for the Wavelength, in case they are one of the few people who have not seen the first two?
Which is strange, and that's a psychopathic behavior to listen /watch /play episode or season before you watch the first one. Psychopathic behavior, you should be locked up. Anyway, but the rules are, since there's only two of us this time, it's going to work the same way, just with two people. So one person is chosen to be the host of that round. The host of that round picks a number. And let's say, for the sake of the argument, John's the host and he picks number 5 because he's a boring piece of shit. And so because he's picked 5, I got to give him a category. And I don't know the number, obviously, because it's going to be in his head. And I'm going to give John animals. And he's going to say spiders. Now, John hates spiders. He hates them with a passion. Well, actually, he wouldn't say... Let's say his number's 1 then, because 5... I don't know what he'd give a 5. So let's say the answer... Or his number's 1, actually. So he says spiders. I'm like, okay, well, John hates spiders, meaning we gotta be at the lower end of that... the wavelength there. And so then I would give John streaming services. And he would say... I don't know what he really hates, per se, but let's say he says... Apple TV, which literally no one uses, right? So, like, he would say that, I'd be like, okay, no one uses that, it's probably dumb, probably still in the lower end of the spectrum. And after, like, 5 different rounds, I have to figure out what his number is. And if I get it correct, I win that round. If I don't get his number, he wins the round. But he still has to play fair, obviously. And then, whoever technically has the most points at the end is obviously the winner. It doesn't really matter, because I'll be the next host of the episode. Anyway, but that's how a typical game of Wavelength works. And if you don't win the round, then you just die on the spot, just by shooting we have snipers trained in our position, so the moment they get told that we lost the round, just shot dead.
Yes, and then a new clone of us will take on from that point on, so we can still have a full episode.
Exactly.
But let's just get started and not think about an inevitable doom when the snipers take us out.
So I just had a really random thought before we start. I think I totally lied to you and the audience in the 2 episodes ago. Because I think 2 episodes ago, when it was you hosting, and I said, "Oh yeah, the next episode's gonna be the finale to the trilogy of the Reset Button trilogy or whatever." The reason this is clarifying for no one, because it doesn't matter anymore, because the last episode was not, in fact, that. The reason I had to hold it off is because it's not 100% done. I thought I was going to get time to finish it this week. I did not. So, I promise. Pinky promise through the screen. The next episode will be the override, or like the final Reset Button trilogy thing. So, just want to put that out there so people know that. So we can now begin the actual game now.
Alright, well. I think I will think of my number first, and then you can guess things. They give categories and whatnot. You know it. I'm not gonna explain it.
All right, I'm gonna give you. Is there? Have your number?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you types of coffee.
Types of coffee. Interesting. I, as you know, drink a good amount of coffee. I will say there's one thing I was thinking of, but it's technically not coffee. So, can't use that. We're gonna go with French vanilla.
Okay. French vanilla is a pretty good type of coffee. I usually get coffee with vanilla flavoring. It's not typically French vanilla, but it's vanilla nonetheless. So it's pretty good. Vanilla coffee is always a banger. Had one this morning. It's got to be probably around the middle to a little bit higher end, would be my guess right now. The next category I'm going to give you, though, is apps on your phone.
Okay.
So there has to be an app that's actually on your phone, though. You can't just say, like, Crossy Road if Crossy Road's not even on your phone.
Wow. But how would you verify that? Are you going to come to my house and be like, look at my phone, it's like, that's on that.
I'm actually.
You know what to do.
I'm under your bed right now, so I can see it. I can smell it.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm gonna say I'm looking through my apps to be like, what's something that fits this number? We're gonna say Audible.
Audible, okay. So Audible is Amazon's audiobook service thing. I don't know if you actually have to pay for it. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's still a service no matter what. I know John reads some audiobooks. I know he prefers reading actual books, though. But sometimes he'll resort to an audiobook if he can't get the actual book or whatever. Or I know he does listen to audiobooks when he's doing something else as well. So he listens a couple... I think we're sitting in, like, the middle. I'm thinking more specific, like 5 to 7. It's kind of narrow for me right now, but maybe these next couple things will change it. The next thing I'm going to give you is YouTubers.
Alright, YouTubers. There's a lot of good YouTubers. There's a lot of bad YouTubers. So, who's to say what kind of YouTuber we're going to get? I'm going to try to find one that you know of.
Yeah.
That way it gives you something that you have something to work with. If I'm like the Mr. Wibbly Wobbly. That's not
Mr. Wibbly Wobbly.
Be like, who the hell is that?
I've never heard of this person.
And we're gonna go with technically these are two people, but they share the channel. Rhett and Link.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I like them quite a bit. I like Good Mythical Morning a bit better. Are you talking about the channel Rhett and Link?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that answer makes me think you weren't thinking that initially. So wait a minute, because I was gonna say if it was good, if you had said Good Mythical Morning, if it was Good Mythical Morning, I would have said, oh, we're definitely above a 5. So I would have been like, okay, we're probably in the 6 to 9 range. Haha, funny number, laugh your butt off right now. But since you said Rhett and Link, like obviously, if they're funny in the Good Mythical Morning, I'm sure they're just as funny on their own channel. But at the same time, I don't find myself watching that channel really that much at all. So, really didn't help me all that much, but we still got 2 more categories. I'm going to say games that we played together, because you gave me that last time we played Wavelength, I think.
Okay, games that we played together. That's a good prompt.
If he says one certain game, I know I'm in the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I'd be like, man, you hate these guys?
You hate these guys? You hate everything? You hate that? Okay.
Let's see, games we played together. I'm gonna say Escape the Background.
Okay. I'd hope that's an 8 or above, because that game is slapping. I think there's actually an update for coming out soon this year. But anyway, yeah, the game's really fun. It was so fun we even brought Axel into the mix. Me and John have played that game at least 5 times, because we played it not when it first came out, we played it first. Then there was an update that came out, so we played it again. Then there's another update, so we played it again. And then we played it with Axel a couple times. So we played it actually more than 5 times, actually. So we gotta be in the 8 to 10 range. For me personally. He might not be, but his scale is weird if it's not. The last thing I'm gonna give you, John, is types of donuts. We talked about coffee, but let's go types of donuts.
Types of donuts. Okay. A lot of good donuts. I don't have donuts as much as I have coffee, but that's because I don't like leaving my house. Mainly.
So do you get your coffee delivered?
Oh, wait, I have like a coffee maker.
Oh, you're one of those boring types. I see.
Yep, but it saves money. So.
I was gonna say one of those smart people that save money or something.
Types of donuts though. There's few that I could say. I'm gonna say chocolate glazed.
Well, that doesn't really help me too much. Because I personally do not like chocolate glazed donuts. Or no, wait, chocolate glaze. Yeah, because you're talking about glaze and not frosted, right? You're not thinking of chocolate frosted?
No, I'm thinking chocolate glazed.
Okay, I take it all back. I like chocolate glazed. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the frosted ones. I hate the frosted ones. Mm-hmm. Chocolate glaze is pretty solid no matter where you get it. Dunkin', you know how I feel about Dunkin'. So no need to say anything there. Tim Hortons also has a really good one. You guys can fight over the sponsorship there, whoever wants to do it first. Doesn't really matter to me. And then, any like donut shop. I've been to a lot of local donut shops that have chocolate glaze, also really good. Chocolate glaze is really just kind of like the universal good donut. So still gotta be in the 8 to 10 or 8 to 9 range. Just for me, it's one of those numbers. I'll go 8. I don't. Actually, wait a minute. Do you like Rhett and Link's channel that much? There's no way, right? Maybe I'm giving too much praise for Escape the Backrooms for John. It'll be sad if it's less than 8, but maybe he didn't like it as much as I did. So maybe I'll go 7, actually. I think 7's more accurate.
Dang, you were so close.
Wasn't it 8? Damn it! I went at the last second.
I really like the songs that are on Rhett and Link's channel.
Yeah,
I've listened to a lot of them.
But I listen to their songs on Spotify. Why do I don't go to their channel to listen to it.
That's just where I found them. I actually found them through the Rhett and Link channel before I started watching Good Mythical Morning.
That's fair, I guess. All right. I mean, your answers make sense with that number. I just was thinking he can't like because chocolate glazed donuts is a solid 8 donuts. So I don't know. I don't know why I switched. My gut was just telling me to switch at the last second, which was a terrible idea, obviously.
Your gut ruined your points.
It did. All right. I do have a number for you though.
All right.
So bring it on!
Okay. I'm gonna say we're gonna go with actors.
Actors. Okay.
Yes.
Am I rating? Okay, clarification for you, I guess. Am I rating them on how much you want me, like how much I like them, or how much I like them as an actual, like how good their acting is?
I'm gonna go based on how good their acting is.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
There's some actors I'm like, I really like that guy, but he is bad.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, right. Because, like, for example, this is not my person I'm giving you. I don't know if I'd even say that. No, I won't even say that because it's not technically true. Anyway, screw whatever I was trying to say. For my number, in terms of acting ability, that's a good question. I'm gonna go. You know what? This might be controversial, and that's okay. I'm gonna say Chris Pratt.
Okay, so it's one of the ends, I would say, because I could see it like some people really like him, some people really hate him. So that doesn't help me. But thank you.
You gave me the category there, bub.
Yeah, well, that's my fault. I'm going to acting ability. Anyway.
Yeah, the acting ability was probably harder for me to gauge.
Yeah. What I'm going to do... series that you've done on your channel.
Interesting. Okay.
Doesn't have to be with me.
Like,
just in general.
I was gonna say, do you want it to be like? No, we won't make it that broad or that narrow. I mean, I was gonna say like because there's series and then there's specialty series. So I was curious on which one you were trying to reference. But that's a great question for this number in particular. That's a really good question actually. I'm trying to. This is a toughie. This is a toughie one. I know what I could say, but I'm not gonna say it because it wouldn't be this number, but it's close to this number. Mm-hmm. And then there's this one I could say, but I almost think that's not it either. For this this particular number is hard for this category. You know what? You know what, John? Mr. Phoeben Jeeben? I'm gonna say Escape the Backrooms, the series.
The series. Okay.
Like, I know you said it didn't have to be with you, but that's what I'm saying, so.
Alright, well, that puts it in a bit of perspective for me, because I know you enjoyed that one, which means you're on the higher end, so that's helpful. Unless you're like, I actually hate that guy. I like playing games with him.
The game sucked, John sucked, all of it sucked. He stole my locker. Wait, that's the wrong game.
Oh, yeah. That one was obviously a lot of fun, and so that's a good answer, I imagine, unless I'm thinking you're a fool, in which case, so, we're gonna go with, fast food chains.
Okay. I hope I didn't give this a different number in a previous iteration of this challenge, or this game. I'm going to say Wendy's.
It's gone downhill, or uphill, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I'm going to say Wendy's, though.
Alright, well, that is fascinating. So, I'm thinking high end. I'm thinking maybe 7 to 10. I know we do love Wendy's on this channel. And Escape the Backrooms was a blast. I don't think you would use the same number as I did. But maybe that's like a big brain move. But it's like, he will never suspect that I would do the same number as him.
Can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
So, I'm going to stick with 7 to 10. But I still have a couple more guesses.
Sure do.
Not guesses. I'm going to say... trying to think what would be a good way of things that I know that you would have something you like for that, but maybe not be like the best of the best. So a broad category, which is hard to find. No, you don't do that much. So I'm gonna go with superheroes.
Okay. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Iron Man.
He's a classic. Oh, ever since.
Played by Robert Downey Jr. specifically. I'm not talking about the comics.
Yeah. I was gonna say, ever since Robert Downey Jr. started playing him, he's been a classic. So that's a good guess. I don't know if you. Okay. I think I'm 7 to 9 range. I think it's around there. I don't know if you like. This is my favorite superhero. It's a number 10 extra cheese.
Number 10 extra cheese.
So that's interesting. We're gonna go for. I think I have one more.
Yep.
We're gonna go with indie games.
Interesting. I'm gonna make it hard for you, and I'm gonna say Escape the Backrooms.
Alright. Excellent. Okay, so I'm still thinking 7 to 9 range, right? Because I at this point I'm like, it can't be 10. Unless you just absolutely love Chris Pratt. I think he's an excellent actor, which is an option.
Which is an option, wow.
I will say, I think I have to guess now. I think that was 5.
Yeah, that was 5.
Yes, well, I'm going to go with Guts is 9.
That's correct. 9 was the number. Damn. Alright. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was when it's like near 10, but not like actually 10, like 8, 9 range is really difficult to find things that fit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, I really like these things.
Yeah,
it's hard
so
to have one that's like...
explanation is I was gonna say Minecraft Tales for the series, but I'm like, no, that's my favorite, so that'd be 10, so I can't say that. And then I'm like, well, there's I was gonna say Deltarune, but I'm like, oh no, I think that'd be a 10 too. So I was like, no, I can't do that. And so I landed on Escape the Backrooms. So I'm like, that I had so much fun with that. There was a couple moments where like we got frustrated at the game, but outside of that, it's an excellent game. So like, because the game's not perfect, obviously, but it was still super fun. And John was there, so it made it even better. We got Axel involved, which made it even better than even better. So like, it's crazy. So that I would definitely give a solid 9. Right. Wendy's is not perfect either. There's a couple things I'm not the biggest fan of over there, but 99% of the food is really good. Escape the Backrooms for the game obviously makes sense if it's linked with the series. That's why I've trolled the hell out of John and said that. I'm missing a category though.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
I'm missing something you said.
There's Chris Pratt, and then there was...
Oh yeah, Chris Pratt. I didn't say it. So Chris Pratt, in terms of acting ability, the reason I gave him a 9 is because obviously he's Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy. He does an amazing job there. But we all doubted his Mario abilities. We all did it. I'm not going to deny it. I doubted his Mario abilities, and so did half the universe. And we were pleasantly surprised when the Mario movie came out. So just because of that, he proved himself. And I love him as a person. I think he's great. But yeah, in terms of acting ability, he was able to prove all of us wrong. I think that deserves a 9. Is he the best actor in the world? Absolutely not. But he's definitely, in my opinion, I could definitely put him in a 9. In a comfortable 9 position.
I wouldn't put him there. But it's not about me.
It's not. Option. Yeah, it's definitely not about you. But no, it is about you, John. Isn't that crazy? So pick a number again.
That's good. I will go with a number that is in my head.
I'm transferring my memory over to John's head. Hang on, I'm reading his number. All right, it's number 3. Let's move on. Wouldn't that be crazy? You're like, wait a minute, how'd you do that?
Hold on, I need to change it.
Alright, anyway, so category. I'm going to start with something interesting. Now, you don't have to give the exact name, because I guarantee you have no idea what the exact name is. But just give me the area that it's played in, and I'll know what you're talking about. For the first category, I'm going to say songs in Deltarune. Could be from any chapter, doesn't matter.
Songs in Deltarune.
Just tell me where it's played, and I'll tell you what the name of the song is.
Alright, well, I will say that, one of the rock songs, I think the first rock song we did, that one was really good.
In chapter 3?
Yes, I forgot what my number was and gave you the wrong answer. So I'm going to change mine.
Hey, wait a minute.
You know what? It's fine. So let's restart. Not that one. But that makes it difficult for what I do have. So I was like, ooh, Deltarune, I really like that. But now I'm trying to think of one that is where I'm at.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say the music that plays when you die.
Okay. Not only that, but based on what you just said, makes me think we're in the bottom half. So, yeah, I mean, the song When You Die is interesting. It's not bad or anything. It's not one of my top songs. I honestly barely even hear it because I'm just such a gamer. Also, it does change. So John doesn't know this. I'm assuming. So in chapter 1, it was like it was pretty good, and then I think after chapter 2, it just became like this kind of track that was like 30 seconds, but it just kept looping. So yeah, we got to be in the bottom half. I'm thinking because I think before he was going to say that one rock song, which if he had said that, I would have been like, okay. Me personally, I love that song, so it's got to be in the higher range. But because he switched over and realized his mistake, we got to be in the lower half. So, okay. Good to know. The next thing I'm going to give you is... This might help me a bit more, is Deltarune characters.
Deltarune characters. That is an interesting one to bring up. I am going to say... I'm going to put them there, though. Oh. I don't know if this is gonna help you a lot. But I'm gonna say Chris.
Really? Okay. I think that's a very fascinating answer. Whether it helps me or not is a different story, but I think that's very fascinating of an answer. Because Chris... So, Undertale, the difference between Undertale and Deltarune is Undertale, you're supposed to put yourself into Frisk's shoes. You're playing as Frisk, but you're them in a nutshell. That's why Frisk is, they don't have a gender. Their gender's never specified, because that way, you as the player can apply your gender onto them. So that you can play as them. Deltarune disconnects you from Chris, because you're playing as the soul. Chris is a different person. You're not playing as Chris, necessarily. So, interesting answer. I think that Chris, in terms of characters, he doesn't talk. Well, if he does, you don't hear him. He's the leader of the party, obviously. You play as him, technically speaking, but again, you're disconnected a little bit from him. We're going to see that a lot more in future chapters, I bet. Very fascinating answer. Whether it helps me or not, I still think, based on what John sees in characters, I'm going to assume we're probably still in the lower half. So that does still help a little bit, but okay. Next, we're going to move away from Deltarune stuff, don't worry. We're going to move into... We're going to go with Italian dishes, John. Italian. It has to be Italian.
Italian dishes. Interesting. I'm going to say bow tie pasta.
Well, but wait, but like, is it like a white sauce pasta, or is it like a...
We're gonna say with the red sauce.
Okay. For me, that's not great. I'd much rather have, like, fettuccine, angel hair, I forget what they're called, but the little tube things, like, there's so much better. I mean, bow tie pasta looks cool, but in terms of actual pasta ability, I mean... It's alright. It doesn't really hold that much sauce, though, is the thing. I say that, but one of my favorite dishes at the Cheesecake Factory, hashtag not sponsored, but hashtag please do, is a pasta dish, and the pasta is bow tie pasta. So maybe I like it a bit more than I think I do. But even still, John said red sauce. Hate most red sauces. I'm sorry. Like, there's so much better sauces out there, like Alfredo sauce, garlic butter sauce, garlic sauce, like, just so much better things. We're definitely... I hope, anyway. We're definitely in the bottom half. I'm thinking... There's no way he'd say a 1. I feel like there's so much worse things than that. So, I'm gonna eliminate 1. I don't think it's 5 either, so I think it's 2 to 4. We're somewhere in that range. Okay. So, that's 3, so I have 2 more. Next category, John, I'm gonna give you is... What's a good one? What's a really good one that helped me narrow down, like, this specific area? You know what? This might help. I'm going to say episodes of the podcast from season 1 or season 2. Doesn't matter.
Episode of the podcast. So real quick, I am going to pull it up. There's a lot of them.
There is. There's 100 episodes in season 1 and 60. This is 65 or 66, whatever number this one is. So 160 episodes.
I'm gonna say. I'm trying to think of one. There's one I had in mind, and then I've forgotten.
No, I mean, you can tell me the topic if you remember that part of it.
We're gonna say. Beach Day. Actually, no. Wait, never mind. That one was. I thought it was a different one.
Okay.
Or rather, I've forgotten which one that was. We're gonna go with personal injuries.
Okay. That one, I forgot where we honestly ranked it in the actual episode. Actually, I can pull that up right now because if you want to follow us over on Instagram/Twitter, I made a post recently about our tier list episode. That way, and in that post, I showed you guys the actual tier list. That way, you can see. I mean, you can see it, but you won't like. The incentive is to still watch the episode is there still because you won't know why we put it there. Personal injuries. Where do we put that? I guess this is because the difference is this is purely John's opinion, whereas the tier list we kind of met in the middle on certain stuff. So this doesn't exactly give me the answer, but it might help. I'm pretty sure it was in the lower tiers though. I think it is literally just called personal injuries as well, which is a bad title. If I was gone back in time to tell myself, don't call it that, you idiot, stupid title. It's not in where I thought it was. Oh, it's in A tier. Interesting. Okay. But is it in an A tier because me and the other guy put it so high and then John put it lower, and so we had to meet him in the middle, or vice versa? I thought it was going to be in B, C, or D. Well, to be fair, D was like all audio shoe crap, so I didn't think it was going to be in there. But then C... Okay. I definitely think we're in 2 to 4. I just don't know what number it is yet. Okay, last category, John, I'm going to give you is Mario Bros characters. So it has to be from the Mario series. It can't be, you can't say like, Isabelle from Animal Crossing, because yes, she's in Smash, but she's not from the Mario games.
I'm going to say Shy Guy.
Okay. Very mundane character. He's an enemy, first of all, and second of all, he's not even in every game or anything. He started in Mario Bros. The one where Birdo shoots the things. I forgot what one that even is, but either way. Or Mario Bros. 3, I think. Yeah, does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just a complete and utter moron. That's possible. My gut, I'm still in 2 to 4. I'm just gonna say 3. It's in the middle. I'm gonna hope it's 3. No, wait, hang on. My joking guess at the beginning was 3. Wait a minute. It can't be 3. He would have said, wait a minute, or something after I said that. Maybe, or is he playing Ultra Giga Chad Brain Move right now, and it was 3, and he stayed silent to make me think that it wasn't 3, when in actuality it is 3. I'm gonna... 3 is such a good number for these types of things, though. Because 2 is really low. Like, for Deltarune, Chris getting a 2 is kind of wild of an answer. Because, yes, he doesn't speak or anything, but to a certain degree, you are Chris. What was the music you said? Oh, it's the Game Over music. Yeah, the Game Over music is not a 2. I'm sorry. But it's not a 2. 3 I can give it. I'd give it a 4 personally, but I could understand 3. And then Bowtie Pasta, there's so much worse things than that. So 2 physically doesn't make sense for me for that either. You know what? My gut said 3 at the beginning. It's saying it now. I'm going 3.
It's 4.
Damn it! I hate everything.
Yes. A lot of these things I said, I kind of just feel neutral on. Or like neutral, but like a little bit, like there's something about it that like makes it a little bit less than neutral. With Bowtie Pasta, like you said, many better pastas out there, but it doesn't soak up the sauce, like you were saying. You got that one right on the head with that one.
Yeah. And
then with Shy Guy, he's kind of just an enemy. He's annoying when you run into him at Shy Guy Beach in my
That's the reason.
Yeah, with Chris, I don't love silent protagonists. I think they have they have their place, and I understand why people enjoy them. It's just not for me. So that's why I said Chris, and then with it being a 4, I was just like, you know what? I hate that they keep trying to murder when I want to not murder.
Yeah, I can understand 4. If you had said your answer was 2, I'd been like, you're crazy. But 4, I can understand.
hate Chris.
He doesn't let me murder when I want to.
It's like whatever what I want to do, it's like they don't want to do it. That's the issue.
So the music though, you gave it 4 just because it's you really don't hear it that often and you're kind of neutral about it.
Yeah, I don't hear that often, and I don't like dying.
That's fair. All right, yeah, that 4 does make sense. I just thought 3 could be possible too, but all right, that's fine. All right,
right, that's fair. It's hard to have like neutral leaning. Sorry, it's hard to have neutral leaning negative. For those ones. So,
all right, I have my number.
All right, well, I'm going to pull a fast one on you, and I'm gonna say. Numbers. What's your favorite to least favorite number between 1 to 10?
Okay. I mean, I think you're trying to pull a fast one, but I don't think this is gonna work out well for you. I'm gonna say 6.
All right, 6. You like this number? It's not the best number of the options. It's not the worst. Above average.
I think you're gonna screw yourself with that question.
Yeah, that maybe it wasn't. You're like, I don't really like 3 that much. I mean, it's pretty great, but
have you seen that video where it's like, it's the joking tier list? It's like tier list of numbers. At number 10, we got the number 3. And it's just like going down that thing. That's why I'm like, this is not gonna help him at all.
Yeah, well, I'm mainly just trying to confuse the audience here because. It's funny.
That's fair.
So we got a 6, which might be a 6. Might be a 4. We don't know. We'll have to ask more questions. I'm gonna go with not episodes, but levels of the main Power Wash Simulator levels, not those DLCs or side things.
Okay.
The main story.
Interesting. Oh, should I pull it up? I can maybe do this off of memory. I might not know the name of the level, but I can tell you like what the house was or the location. I'm gonna say that I don't know if it's called this, but the train station, the subway, whatever it's called.
It's a pretty big open area. So lots of wide shots. We did it in one of our Power Wash pals, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
I think it was me, you, and Axel that we were doing that one.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a pretty solid one. Maybe 6 maybe he just gave you the number. And I pulled a fast one up. Or maybe he didn't and he doesn't like that number that much. Or maybe it's higher. We'll see.
I have no comment. I have no further comment.
So I'm thinking somewhere between the 5 to 10 range. I kind of screwed myself asking for the number. I'm probably just going to get more of that moving forward. So we're going to go with Undertale characters, since we were doing Delta in all my rounds.
All right. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of something you would know as well, because I could totally give you an answer. You would have no clue who that character even was.
It's like that one enemy you fight like halfway through the game, and there's only
and you never see them again.
That's fun.
Because none of the quote unquote boss characters are gonna have this number. You know what? I'm gonna say Monster Kid. The you want to die, kid?
I mean, so as a character, fairly mundane. As a meme,
as a meme in John's community, it's freaking hilarious. You want to die?
So that is an interesting response, especially with your answer of 6 and your answer of the subway. I think it's called the subway. I don't know.
Whatever it's called.
Interesting. So I'm thinking 5 to 7, maybe, kind of in the middle there. Monster Kid. I'm trying to see if you're separating Monster Kid from the meme, or if you're including the meme.
Yeah, you're talking about just the character, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm talking about just the character.
Yeah, so I'm thinking 5 to 7. He had some interesting moments but they fall on their face a lot. Like, they're obnoxious.
Because if you had said Jeebins, Phoebins, memes, then that's a different story. But you said Undertale character, so I'm going off based off the character.
Right. Well, since you mentioned it, Jeebins, Phoebins, memes.
Okay.
That can be anything from just my streams to the recordings to the podcast.
That's a tough question, actually. That I would give it for this number? Huh.
You're like, I hate all of your memes, and I cannot give it anything above a 5.
I don't know. Because a meme would indicate that it's happened more than once or something, right? So, I don't know if I would give any meme that I'm aware of this number, though. That's the problem. I honestly don't think I could... Like, if this wasn't my number, I could probably give you an answer. But because of this specific number, I don't think I can answer this question.
Okay. We're gonna... I'll refund your points, and...
Refund your points?
We'll get a different one. We're gonna go with Nintendo games.
Okay. Like, so they have to be made by Nintendo, not just on the system?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. I don't know if this is gonna help you, but I'm gonna say made by Nintendo. I guess I'll say I might be offending a lot of people. Probably am. I'm gonna say, from what I've played of it so far, I haven't technically beaten the game, but what I've played of it so far, I'm gonna say Super Mario RPG.
I know that one is fairly popular, and that you're offending people means it's probably on the lower side. Maybe you're like me and you hate Monster Kid. And want him to die. And that's why you found the meme so funny.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is, totally. I think you have one more,
I never
right?
played the game. So, yeah. I never played Super Mario RPG. I've played Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, and that's an RPG, but it's a completely different game, so you can't really judge me. I don't even know if you played that game, so it's hard to say. It's a good game. So, for my final question, I will be asking, color.
Like colors?
The colors, yeah.
Okay.
The color that's number.
I'm gonna say...
I'll be honest, I have the best, prompts, for sure.
I'm gonna say...
And I'm definitely gonna get this number.
I'm gonna say, like, a dark gray.
Okay. Pretty... neutral color. It's not quite black, but it's not gray. It's dark gray. Pretty dark gray. Let's go with a 5.
You unfortunately were not even close. It's 2. Is the answer.
Alright.
So yeah, Monster Kid, out of all the characters on Undertale, he's probably my least favorite. He doesn't really do much. He's really only there in the waterfall area. You meet him in Snowdin, but he really only matters in the waterfall area. During the genocide run, he has a bit of a interesting moment where he tries to stand up to you, but you're a madman and just try to kill him anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like he saves
He wants to die.
Yeah, you want to die. So yeah, the meme is hilarious, but I think also him as a character is not that interesting.
Yeah.
And then what else were the top things? Yes, your memes. I don't think I could think of any meme that I dislike. So, because I was thinking of your machine sucks ass. That's a 10. Your ball joke, I'd say, is like a 7. What else? You want to die is like a 8 or 9. Like I could think of all these things that are like a 5 to 10 range, but I couldn't think of anything that's like lower than a 5, let alone a 2. So I was like, I don't think I can answer that one.
Something you're like, you gotta stop that one. Let's stop.
You gotta stop. But yeah, so like, what else was there? There was, what else did you say? Why am I losing all cognitive abilities?
Color and number.
Oh yeah, number. Yeah, 6. Who cares about 6? I don't care about the number 6. And also 666, bad number, so it's part of it. 33% of that. So yeah, and then color, light or dark gray. I literally don't use at all. ever in my life. It obviously appears in life, but I don't really care about it. It's not the worst color out there, because I was gonna say like brown. Brown's a terrible color. I don't know who invented brown. But yeah, brown or like a mix of yellow and brown, because that's also a disgusting color. So yeah, that I would say is a 1 or a 2, but like dark gray is definitely a 2. We'd still be missing a category though.
Subway.
Yeah, I did not like that level. It wasn't that fun. Playing solo wasn't that fun. The only reason I don't know who said it, but whoever was the one to make us play the train station, I only did it because John and Axel were there. But playing it solo, I was not a fan. I did not like it.
Fair enough. I was thinking for the low ones, you would say like the bathroom one. Those are disgusting bathrooms that you gotta clean.
I actually quite liked that one. I found that very satisfying.
But they're disgusting.
It's not real life, you idiot. It doesn't matter if it's disgusting or not. Oh yeah, and then Super Mario RPG. I did one episode on it, and I got stuck a lot. And it's not that I'm like, I play puzzle games quite often, like Portal and stuff, and I found that game super fun. And then Super Mario RPG I just did not find fun at all. And some of the enemies respawned, which pissed me off, because it's like, I beat you 17 times, why do you keep respawning every time I leave the room? And so, like, because those are the types of enemies where you have to fight in order to progress to the next room. It was so annoying. So what I've seen from it, that's why I said I was offending people, because I know that's a goated game, and maybe it is once I get past the area I'm in, but my god, I did not that much enjoy it. So... Okay, it's your turn to give a number again, or to think of a number.
Well, I have a number in my brain.
All right. My first thing I'm going to give you is memes, just general memes.
Oh man, there's so many memes. Some of them are good, some of them are bad.
That's how the internet works, yeah.
That is a good question. You know what? I'm gonna say there may be better ones, but this is the one that comes to mind. Anyway, I started blasting.
I don't know if I know that one, so that might not have helped at all. It sounded like John liked it though, based on the way he said it though. So I'm gonna assume we're in the higher tier, above 5 and above. Next thing I'm gonna give you, John, is mint flavors. So spearmint, wintergreen, all that good stuff. Peppermint.
I would say peppermint.
Okay. Well, I've changed my answer a little bit.
You'll be like writing down notes.
I swear, in an episode, you said you weren't the biggest fan of candy canes, which candy canes by default are peppermint. Maybe you just didn't like the actual candy cane, but you were okay with the taste. I don't know. Okay, that threw me off a little bit. I'm gonna say, for my next category, that's 100% genius and not at all stupid, is what's the, I don't want to just do video games again. I'm trying to think of like categories we haven't even done in the previous episodes either. Let's go with summertime activity. That's a good one.
Okay, I'm gonna say swimming in a pool.
All right. I mean, that's a classic summertime activity. This is one of the best for me personally because I love swimming. I wish I could do it every day, but I can't. If I get rich enough one day, I'm definitely gonna want a pool in my backyard. So yeah, swimming. I would give that a 9 for summertime thing. I don't know if John's doing that. So maybe he does like candy, or maybe he does like peppermint. Maybe he just didn't like the candy cane part of it. So I'm gonna say peppermint must be higher than I thought it was. So now I'm thinking 6 to 10. 10 could still be on the table. I need to get something to rule out 10 though. So I'm gonna say, for my fourth category, I'm gonna say, let's make it super broad. This is I don't know if do I want to do that? Maybe I don't want to do that. No, I regret my words and my deeds. I am going to redact what I just said.
My words and my deeds.
Yes. Let's go with. You know what? You asked me this question, and I'm going to ask you this question. Favorites? Well, that's. I guess it's a bit of a modification, but series on your channel, but it does have to involve me. So it's a bit different than what your question was.
That is slightly less broad.
I regret my words and my
say-
deeds.
I'm gonna open up Opera, open YouTube, just to see if I can.
Wow, I see. You forgot everything we've done together? I see. I must not have meant much to you then, huh?
Basically, yes, exactly. You got it right on the head.
I'm slightly offended.
Doing something? No.
I'm 33.
It's not I dislike it. It's kind of, you know, it's just, I don't, unmemorable. Really.
I'm 33% offended.
Yeah, well, you should be more. See, trying to think, what would be a good spot for this number is the thing. Because I will say, there's a couple options. So that's why I'm looking to be like, how did I really feel? Maybe I'm just like a basic person. I have no opinions. I'm gonna say it's not on my main channel, but it is on my Twitch and VOD channel. It's the SMP.
Okay. I feel like the SMP is really fun. The only problem for me is I can't fully record a lot of it just because my computer can't run Minecraft, Discord, and OBS all at the same time. I mean, it can. It's just, like, it's not super choppy for the audience. It's not terrible for the audience, but John literally can't really hear me at all, and that really sucks because what's the point of John being there if he can't hear me? And I can't really hear. I guess I can hear him, I think, but he won't be able to hear me. So it's really I kind of leave right now. This SMP is mostly a Twitch exclusive right now. You can still catch all the earlier episodes on my channel. I think there's still some coming out, but a lot of the newer stuff, like the town developments, a lot of that's Twitch only, which is fine because if anything, that pushes people to go watch it on John's stuff. For me, I mean, it's a hard question because the way I feel about that series is probably an 8 or so. It's a good solid 8. Because I would say, to me, I like watching us play Deltarune, or him playing Deltarune, but even though I'm part of that series, I like watching it back. Because anytime I see the Deltarune episodes come out, I'm like, ooh, let me go watch that real quick. So yeah, I think we're still, I think that might knock out, does it knock out 10? Maybe John really likes maybe he has some weird, weird thing with Minecraft, you never know. Because he's also digging his hole. That's another thing I gotta remember with that series, is 90% of the time he's digging his damn hole. So, it can't honestly be that enjoyable. So, that's another thing I gotta consider. But, yeah, I think that does knock out 10 for me. If it's 10, then I quit life. But, okay, I think I have one more, right? Then it's over. We're going to go with grocery stores. Can be chains. I mean, it's gotta be chains, because I won't know otherwise.
Yes. It's an interesting category. I will say... there's one that I'm like, it would be this, but there is one thing about it that I'm like, that brings it down a few numbers. I'm gonna say Costco.
Okay, I think Costco is pretty decent for multiple different reasons. I don't personally shop there just yet, but I probably plan to once I get a family and stuff, because they seem very good for families, because then you can buy things in bulk and you don't have to go shopping as often, and the food court is super cheap because they're making 90% of their money on membership, so you can still buy a hot dog for $1.50 over there. So yeah, pretty good for multiple different reasons. I don't know John's personal experience with it, so I think 10 is still off the table. There's no chance he gives Costco a 10, and they're great, but they're not that good. I'm gonna say, I think he's pulling a fast one on me. Maybe. And I'm gonna say 7 again. I was wrong last time, but maybe it's correct this time.
Well, I hate to break it to you.
There's no way.
But it was, in fact, 10.
It was what? What do you mean? What do you mean it's 10? You're lying. You must be. You can't be telling the truth.
I was trying to think with the grocery stores. Most of them I just feel neutral about. It's a grocery store. What is there to love? But I really like the quantity you can get at Costco. The pizza is pretty good. It's pizza,
I mean, yeah, but okay. Screw Costco. Costco's the one thing I can see being a 10. Sure. Peppermint being a 10 on the mint scale, you're crazy. Peppermint. I mean,
I love peppermint.
So do I, but wintergreen's so much better. What are you talking about?
Whatever, dude.
Okay, so peppermint 10, craziness over there. What else was there? There was what categories am I missing? Why can I not remember the previous categories?
See, well, we had the SMP. I said.
Okay, you like that more than everything else?
It's really fun.
But you're digging your hole. You really like digging your hole?
There's plenty of funny jokes that we've had. You know,
I was crazy once. They locked me in a room.
Okay, maybe not that one.
I thought it was hilarious. Okay, I guess. And then
there was there.
Are we missing 2, right? We already said.
Are we bad? We have no memory.
It's because we're just getting so involved in the game, and that's the problem. Well, it's a problem and also not a problem because we want to be involved in the game. 10, really?
I feel like I had valid reasons for the other 2, whatever they were.
After hearing the first 2, I'm not so sure. All right, whatever. I mean, Costco, yeah, I get it. All right, fine. The reasoning I gave could give them a 10, sure. Peppermint, though? Peppermint?
Really like peppermint. It's my favorite.
Peppermint, though?
Whenever I find peppermint flavored things, I'm like, ooh, peppermint.
I mean, yeah, I'd give it a solid 8 or 9, but, like, there's better mints out there or whatever. Okay.
Pretty good, too. I peppermint.
I can't remember what the previous ones were. I would listen to it in post and be like, oh, yeah, you stupid idiot, of course. Whatever.
Yeah, that one was wrong, too.
This was wrong, too. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what I would have asked you, but it's not coming back to me now.
It's fun. It's all gone. We need our privileges.
We need our privileges. Okay. Last round probably for us because in terms of time here. But I do have my last number locked and loaded.
You have your number. It's a juicy number, I imagine.
Oh, it's extra thick with 4 C's.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to ask you. I'll give you the category of. We're going to go with the classic, the overused, the video games category.
Damn it, Bobby. Probably. I'm going to say FNAF Security Breach.
Fascinating. So. I know it's not the highest of the FNAF games, but we talked about FNAF recently, and I imagine when we did, you probably gave your opinion on it. Does that mean I remember what that opinion was?
We didn't even remember the topics I gave you 2 minutes ago. How would he remember that?
Yeah, we can't remember something that happened 2 minutes ago, and there's no way I can remember something that happened last week or even longer than last week.
Yeah.
So. Let's see here. Well, we have a number between, I would say, 4 to 8, maybe. It depends on like how much you could get over the bugs. Not. I remember I enjoyed it because of the bugs, but it's not a normal experience. So we're definitely thinking in that range there. Next one I'll say is characters in cartoons.
Interesting. I'm gonna say Mr. Krabs.
And Mr. Krabs he's feeling it now. So there's that one. I'm really good at this game, if you could tell.
Definitely.
Go with we'll say story genres. I'm trying to think of a better word, but it could be like a genre of movie, game, book. I don't know if the better.
So just genres.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Or like narratives.
Sure.
Okay, so it doesn't have to specifically pertain to shows or movies. It can be anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of them overlap anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say sci-fi fantasy.
Okay, that is a fairly particular genre. I quite like this genre, but this isn't about me. maybe we'll be up in arms, or we'll be like, yeah, let's go. I was right. It's amazing. So we'll see which one it is. I am still struggling here. I'm thinking probably somewhere between 4 and 7. We'll say that's where my detection area is.
Detection area.
I think that was my third category. So I will say for my fourth category, places to go on vacation.
Okay, I'm gonna say, like, do they have to be popular destinations, or can it just be any destination?
Any destination.
Okay, this won't help you at all then. Bermuda.
Bermuda? There's a triangle there. I know that.
Okay, sure.
So maybe you're really into being lost. Who knows? I feel like you're right about this not helping me. I'm still gonna maybe I can see it being a popular place because it's like it's beachy and it's warm. Maybe it's too warm. I'll say I'm still at 2. Did I say 2? I mean 4 to 6 maybe. Maybe I'm like super far off, but I'm thinking we're not super high, unless of course. I'm an idiot.
Unless I'm stupid.
We're gonna go with MCU movies.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna say, and I know people are gonna disagree, but I'm gonna say Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay. Age of Ultron? It's a pretty good movie. I would say so, anyway. I know it's not everyone's favorite. Especially when you compare it to the first Avengers movie and the Endgame and Infinity War. That means I'm out of categories, and I feel real confident that the answer is 6.
Ouch. That sucks. Because the answer is 7. I got you.
Dang it.
I got you. I said...
I was between the 2. I was like, 7?
Because you took off 7 from your category, or from your range a couple things ago, and I'm like, oh... But I was interested to see you got close with it at least. Yeah, so Avengers Age of Ultron, out of the Avengers movie, I agree it's technically the worst out of the 4. Or out of the other 3, I should say. Mm-hmm. Avengers Endgame, though, 10, wouldn't change really much out of it. The only thing I would change is, like, there's a couple scenes I got rid of for no stupid reason that I wish they just would have put in the movie. Outside of that, it's beautifully crafted. Infinity War is a solid 9. I think Infinity War, the reason I would give it an 8, but the reason would give it a 9 is because of how silent it was after that. Like, you would walk out of the movie theater and it would just be pure silence. No one was saying anything because of how shocked and sad everyone was. And if you haven't watched Infinity War, then I really don't know what to tell you. And then Avengers, the first one, is a solid 8. I'd say it's a solid 8. It's a pretty good movie. There's a couple things that I didn't like in it, a lot of things I did, so a solid 8. And then Age of Ultron, out of the 3, it's not the best, so I would give it a 7. But I still liked it. So yeah, and then what else was there? There was I just have the biggest brain farts when I try to remember the previous ones.
I know one of them was sci-fi fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy, yeah, that's a pretty solid genre. I'm currently writing a sci-fi fantasy book right now. I think horror would be my 9 or 10. So I obviously wasn't going to say that. And I think thriller is pretty good. I'd give that a 7 or an 8. And so sci-fi fantasy it's a high 7. Don't get me wrong, but it's still a 7, I think. So yeah, and then we're still missing 3. I think it's the first
Bermuda
3, right?
Was one of them.
What was that?
Bermuda.
Oh yeah, vacations. Yeah, I mean, I went to Bermuda once. It was fun. It wasn't my favorite place. The Outer Banks currently is. So that would have been a 9 or a 10. Bermuda's a solid 7 or an 8. I'll probably just give it a 7 just because I've only been there once. It was fun. We walked around. They had beaches and stuff. I never went to the Triangle or whatever, so that didn't pertain to me. I went into a couple of museums there. They had a lot of cool museums that like showed you how many shipwrecks have been lost or whatever. So it was pretty decent. It was a pretty cool vacation spot that I've been to. So yeah, there's that. What was your first 2 things though? Because that was where we remember the last 3.
I remember one of them was FNAF Security Breach, because I asked you...
Yes, that was the first one.
Video games.
Security Breach is I quite enjoyed it. The bugs did bring it down to 7. Otherwise, it would have been like a 10 game, probably. Maybe not 10. 8 or 9 game. But because of the bugs that I encountered, it was 7. And there's just a couple... It's also 7 because there's a couple puzzles that just made absolutely no sense. So, yeah. So, it's still a good... The story is what really gives me a 7, though, because... The story is really fun and interesting, and then there's the endings, of course, and stuff like that. So it's a solid 7. In fact, if John had watched it, which I wouldn't have blamed him for not watching it, my FNAF Security Breach review video, I gave it a 7. So I stayed true to that number. Because I still find it to be a 7 to this day. And there was another category that John gave me, but I'm assuming we're not going to remember in time. Because because you just said the first one, and I don't remember. It would have been the second one, the one right after that. So I don't remember. Either way, I had a valid reason for the 7s, whatever they were. But yeah, I don't think we can probably end it there.
Yeah, well. Obviously you won. I did not keep track of points because there's really no point.
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean, we could have calculated points based on who won. What you would have won if we were calculating points, because I don't think I guessed a single one of your numbers. And you did guess 1 or 2 of my numbers, so.
Okay. So... Very fun game. And then to you at home, if you one of those weirdos who likes to watch it in reverse order, go check out 2 and then 1. And then I assume you don't have a winner's speech unless you really had stuff you wanted to add.
My winner's speech is that this is a fun game, and we're done after this because I don't want it to become Hills. Because Hills we did like 4 parts on it. The 4th one drew out a while. There might be a Wavelength section in our season 2 finale, but outside of that, we're going to be done with Wavelength. So I know it's a fun game. I think it's one of the funnest games we've done on the podcast, but I don't want it to become overdrawn. So we're going to be done with it after this.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's fair. Whenever we do these series where we do multiple points of it, it's because it's fun, but there's only so much you can do with it.
Yeah,
and so I think that's 3 is the magic number, as the song says. So, but thank you guys so much for listening. We hope we provoked a conversation and made you laugh along the way. You can find myself over at Jeebins Phoebins on Twitch and YouTube. And Jeebins Phoebins VODs from my VOD channel on YouTube, where all of my unedited stuff goes up, unless there was a stream where there was a cut because the stream crashed or something like that. That happens sometimes. If you see an edit like that, you're like, wait a minute, I'm missing stuff. You're not. It's just I edit the 2 together. And you can find Ethan at Flabs XZ Gaming on YouTube and Twitch, but mostly YouTube. He's got a lot of funny stuff up there. He's doing a lot of Delta. I don't know what he's doing by the time this comes out because I can't predict the future. But there's plenty of stuff with me in it. There's plenty of stuff with him in it. Obviously,
I'd hope so. It's my channel. I'd hope so. Yeah, to quickly answer...
Maybe there was an episode where you outsourced it to someone else. Who knows?
No. To answer the question, though, at the time, I might... Because Delta will be done by this point in time when this comes out. What I might be doing is if I'm not still... I might be fully moved in by the time this comes out. So what I might be doing is continuing a lot of series. So Minecraft Tales is probably still coming out. Like, a lot of those stuff I can guarantee. Like, Minecraft Tales is coming out still. Charged Challenges for people that are following that. I'm going to need to return to Faith's Lockdown at some point as well. So anyone that's been on the channel that's part of the specialty series, you can guarantee that those are still happening.
Very fair. And then you can find us over on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. I don't really care. It's called the Provokers Pod, where you can find Ethan posts things there, and also the Instagram at the Provokers Podcast Official. Like I said, if you were in the old one and you're like, what happened to these guys? I thought I was following. This is a new channel. Don't worry about it. Same old stuff that you'd find. And maybe even stuff that's better. Who's to say? And then you can check out the Patreon. And we have all the different tiers that range from $1 to $100. And the more tiers you buy the more you get from it, because we want to give you some good bang for your buck that we're getting for you. And I already said that. It's warm. My brain's fried.
His prune juices run dry.
If you become a member of Patreon, you get access to exclusive Patreon-only Discord server, where you can hang out with us and tell us about how we need to drink our prune juice, or how you absolutely love the podcast. And that's dependent. That is a perk you get no matter what tier you get. So, and then you can also check out the extended cut episodes, which are usually 30-minute segments, which are just shorter episodes that we really couldn't fit into a whole thing, or maybe we could, and then we made a full-length one, whichever the case. But those are $3 for the first 5, because it's a different format. And so if you're not interested in it, you don't have to pay for more. And if you are interested in it, then you can check out the other ones. But with all that out of the way, we will see you guys next time.